Hi everybody! Today I'm going to be going back and working on one of my works in progress from the video that I made recently showing all of my WIPs that I had. The one I've chosen to go back into is the one in Colouring Heaven Bohemian Beauty Special by Durian Addict aka T.Fallon, and this one was mentioned in the comments. Someone suggested they'd like to see me go back and work on this one, so I did get a couple of suggestions and this is the one I've decided to go back into and work on. I'll pop a picture up here how it was before I did start working on it, because this morning I've been in and I've tried to figure out my colour combinations and how I'm going to work on all that hair we've got going on there, which I do love colouring hair. That is a lot of hair, so I might have to spread this out over the next few weeks and try and get it done that way, a little bit at a time. But I think I have worked out which colours I was actually using, so let's see how we're getting on now. There we go. You'll see that I have worked on the hair a little bit, trying to figure out what colours I was using. And I've done this lady's face. She has turned out a little bit more yellow than I really wanted it to. I was trying to follow this colour combination I had going on her neck here, and there is a lot of yellow. Her skin has turned out to be pretty yellow, but it might work once it's all done. They are kind of fantasy ladies anyway. And as I said in my WIPs video, the idea for this page was to have one lady this side with dark skin and white hair, well, off-white cream, I think it's turning out to be, kind of hair, and this lady the other side with really pale skin and the black hair, and her skin is really pale, so it may still work for this. I don't know, but I may have to go in and tone down that yellow a little bit. But yeah, this is the work I've done this morning, working out how to do these hair here, and I thought maybe I'd do a little video to show you how I've been doing those hair and the colour combinations I've been using. I probably won't film the whole thing because yeah, watching me colour all that hair would be a bit boring for anyone, I think. But yeah, for this one, I think if I remember correctly, I was using Crayolas. And when I first started colouring it, I only had the set of 12 Crayola pencils, which at the moment I can't find. I think I might have ended up giving them away or giving them to my son or something because I can't find them anywhere. But what I do have at the moment, I have the 36 set. But when I bought it, it wasn't a full set. It was reduced because there was some pencils missing. So I don't have all the colours in there. I really need to buy a 100 set, to be honest with you. And I have the dual-sided set of 12, which is actually 24 colours because there's one colour on each end. And I've been using some from each. So those are the pencils I've been using to colour these. And I'll just show you how I was going about that. The white, or this hair, this light hair, that was actually the easiest to do. The black hair has turned out to be a bit of a struggle actually, with all these layers and all these different strands and not being able to use a marker background because I hadn't when I first started. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to do that. I think I've got a good kind of thing going on here, so I'll show you how I've been doing that anyways. I'll start with the white hair because that was the easiest one to do. So the colours I was using for the white hair, I have the grey. They don't have a pencil number. We are using Crayola. It's pretty basic. I was using a little bit of this golden yellow. I was using the sky blue, and I know I didn't have any polychromos pencils when I first started colouring this, but I've been using this as a blender a heck of a lot lately, so I thought I'd carry on doing that just to work it the way I would work it now, and that's been working quite well. And brand new polychromos because the other one is about this long now. I've used it so much. But yeah, those are the colours that I'll be using for the white hair. And where should I start? How I was starting it is using the grey just to do the first shades. I don't know if this is how I was doing it when I first started, but it's kind of how I started working it this morning, the kind of groove that I fell into for doing it, just basically using the grey to put in the main kind of strand areas, the biggest shadows, if you will. And I was using the black very, very, very slightly in the very dark areas, but mainly the grey I was using for the shadows. It just seemed like an easier way to do it, just to try and block out the shadows first this morning. I can see here I have kind of used the blue first, but I'll just show you on this little bit here. I was using the grey. Then going in with the sky blue and pressing quite lightly they are Crayola pencils, so they're not that pigmented anyways, but yeah, I don't want tons of colour on this white side. The idea behind it was to have the ladies being like opposites and making a kind of yin-yang symbol with the way the hair kind of curves around on each of them. But I suppose they could be representing the sun and the moon as well. I was thinking that earlier, since my theme is moons for this month, so maybe I'm a little bit biased for that. But I was thinking they could go for the sun. This lady here is the sun, and this lady is the moon, being really pale. I don't know. Maybe. But the main idea at first was the yin-yang kind of Chinese, Japanese symbol. I'm not sure where it does actually originate, but we all know the kind of swirly black and white yin-yang symbol, I think. Okay, don't want to go too overboard with the blue, like I said. Trying to keep it pretty simple, and this is the golden yellow, and this is very, very, very light colour. I think this is what's giving the this hair the kind of creamy sort of look, because when I go over it with the white to blend it all, it kind of blends into that creamy colour. And I don't know if it's just the amount of pressure I'm using or what. I found that if I do the blue first and go over the top with the yellow, it doesn't really go green so much as if I do it the other way around. If I did yellow and over the top with blue, it would look a lot greener, which is not what I want. So I've been doing the blue first and going over with yellow, which seems to help keep it looking the way I want to. As I said, I was originally envisioning white, but it's not exactly white, really. It's looking pretty cool though. I do like the way it's going on, but it's more of a cream than white, which still works. And I suppose the yellow kind of matches this lady's skin because she's looking a wee bit yellow, a bit jaundiced at the moment. This is going onto the white to try and blend all that together, and I was going over the whole area with the white because that was kind of dulling down the black lines, the line art a little bit as well, which was helping for this white hair. Oh, so I found anyway. I did try going over all the line art with the white gel pen, like I would for white hair normally. I've never coloured this much hair before, so I can't say normally, but if I was doing just a portrait with white hair, then I would go over the line art with the white gel pen, just to try and give that effect that, yeah, the hair is white. But I tried that, and yeah, there were so many lines, I think it just wasn't looking good, so I gave up on that idea, and I'm just trying to use the colours to give the indication that the hair is, if not white, a kind of off-white creamy colour. There we go, and as I always do, if I'm not happy with it, I go back in. I tend to go into it and keep adding until I'm happy that it's looking good. So that's what I've been doing. Just going back in with any of the colours I think I might be missing. Trying to add little bits of shadow to give a bit of depth, kind of 3D look to the hair, which is kind of hard when the hair is white. But as I've said, I have been going in with the black very, very, very slightly, so try and give a little bit of shadow under there. This is very, very light pressure. Okay. It's not looking too bad. I might need a bit more colour on this strand here. I didn't give it very much. Too blue up here, I'm thinking. Try and tone that down a little bit with the grey. As I've said, usually I have no set formula. I have the colours I use and I just go in and I play with it until it looks right. But yeah, just to show you guys the colour palettes and what I've been using for it. That little bit of shadow around on this edge here. So it's coming up over the dark hair there. And what I've done with the white hair down here is I seem to be in a phase of using white outlines around everything at the moment, and yeah, it just seemed to me that that should have a white outline just to make it look as if it was coming up over the top of the dark hair there. So I've gone with that. It's just for fun anyway, isn't it? See what makes you happy when you're colouring. Use the colours you want. Use any methods that will make you happy. Have you enjoying it? Because that's the whole point. There we go. And what I was doing in the little bit here, I think this is the little bit that I'd already started when I first went back into the WIP, is doing some little sort of, I don't know if they're sparkles or stars or I don't know, some little white gel pen dots anyways. Like that. And I'll just add in this. It would make more sense to do it when I'd finished, but just to show you guys what I was doing. I was doing this white outline that I've been using a lot lately. It's probably bad for the bank balance because I'll end up having to replace my white gel pens and they're not cheap these days. But yeah. Fade that out coming into there. Ah, that looks okay. Let's see if we can work with that. And for the black hair, I've been using obviously black. I've been using the blue. And I've been using navy blue. And this one is from my dual-ended set because I didn't have the navy blue in my 36. I don't know if it's supposed to be in there because, as I said, it wasn't a full set when I bought it. It was reduced because some of the pencils were missing. Maybe this is one of the ones that was missing. I don't know. But yeah, I've been using that and I've been using the orchid, but especially around this edge of the lady's skin because her skin is so yellow. I don't know if it will stay yellow, but we'll see how it goes. I've been using the purple just to give a bit of contrast to that yellow skin because purple and yellow are opposites on the colour wheel, so I was hoping that would give a little bit of contrast if that showed through a bit. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll leave that lady's skin such a bright yellow. I don't know. I shouldn't have done it so late last night. I was doing it like about 8 o'clock last night, I think, and I thought, in my wisdom, I thought it was light enough to be colouring. Obviously it wasn't. Because we've coloured ourselves a Simpson there, I think. But it may all work out in the end. Kind of glad I didn't try to show you guys how I coloured the skin because, yeah, I can't say I'm 100% happy with that as it is. But yeah, this is the navy blue that I'm using for. But as I usually, if I do black hair, I usually give kind of indigo or Prussian blue kind of marker base. And as I started this with pencils, the faces were pencil. Well, this lady's face I think I'd done, and the hand, it was all pencil with no marker base, and I thought, well, I might look a bit odd if I suddenly start for all his hair doing the marker base, so I'm going to try and figure it all out. pencil, so we go in with the blue. And this one, as I said, if you watched my Domming's fairy tale book video, this one does go very bright when it's and a lot paler when I went over the white. I can show you. Yeah, see that blue is going a lot brighter and paler as I go over with the white. But it is giving me kind of a base to work my black shading on top of, so. I've not always been doing the colours in this order, as I've said before. I just, usually when I'm colouring, my brain just kind of switches off. And I just do things the way they seem right at the time. Okay, I'm going to try and give a bit of shadow behind that white line to show that this is the black. Sorry, not mentioning colours, but yeah, this is the black. No special numbers or anything, it's just called black. This Crayola. Very basic pencils. I'm not saying they're bad at all. I do use them quite a lot, but no fancy names or numbers most of the time. Okay, just making it look as if it's going behind that. This white hair seems to be coming across the front, so we'll just make this black look like it's going behind it. Oops, it's behind the lady's face, so we'll give a quite a deep shadow there as well. I'm not quite sure how much that purple orchid is showing through. I don't want it to be too bright, but I kind of want it to show through maybe a little bit. Yeah, like that, to tint the blue a little bit purple, so that it gives a bit of contrast behind this lady's early skin. And I think I was actually using a bit of the grey in a few places down here. Just if there's a place where like the light is shining but there's still going to be kind of shadows like behind or underneath, because this piece is going over the top, so this is underneath. It's very hard to figure out when there's this much hair, so many strands going on. It's probably not going to be 100% right, but we'll try and make it look good. And as I said before, I just keep going over with the same colours. The paper, this is the older colouring heaven paper, so it can take quite a few layers before it starts giving up. The blue, just using the blue there. And building up the black. So I do want her hair as dark as I can get it. The Crayola black is not the most pigmented, so I suppose I could have used different pencils, but I wanted to keep kind of in with the spirit of it. And when I first started, obviously I wanted to do this one with Crayola, so I thought, yeah, I'll stick with the original idea. Right, it's fairly dark. And what I've been doing is giving her the little spots as well, more like, I think personally they look kind of like stars, which is why I thought maybe these could be the sun and the moon ladies. There we go, some little stars. And because I'm doing those little kind of sparkles and stars, I haven't been doing my usual white highlights on the hair like I have been, which is another reason why it's proving a tiny little bit difficult for me, because usually when I do hair, if you've seen any of my other pictures, I do a lot of white gel pen highlights along the edges and little strands where the light's hitting. And not being able to, I suppose it will teach me a lot if I do eventually get this finished. It will teach me a lot about, well, for restraint for a start. And not being able to use that white gel pen might kind of teach me that you should really be getting these vector pencils. It probably won't stop me using it because I do like to use it, and what's the point if you can't do what you like? But yeah, you can see now the idea that I did have with the yin and yang and the kind of opposites going on there is starting to come together now. So I think it will look really good when it's done, but it is going to be a lot of work doing this hair, I think. The white, not so much. The white is really quick. Yeah, I quite enjoy doing the white. The black is a lot more work. It's quite hard to get the dark kind of intense colours with Crayolas. Or maybe I just haven't used them enough. Getting too used to using my more pigmented pencils. Although my usual pencils are not top of the range, so but yeah, I think the idea is starting to come together. I think the reason I abandoned it, if I remember right, is that I really wasn't happy with this lady's skin, even though looking at it now, there's nothing wrong with it. And I really didn't like her nose for some reason. But again, looking at it, there's not really anything wrong with it. So I think maybe I was being a bit too much of a perfectionist. I think that's something you tend to learn along the way, I think, is that you can't always have the perfect vision, what it looks like in your head. Yeah, it doesn't always turn out like that, but that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's better. But yeah, I think now I'm a lot more looser, I suppose. I just tend to go with the flow if things don't go quite how I plan them to. I just go with it and see if I can make it work. Yeah, we want to try and make it quite dark under there. I can go back and go over that white gel pen. As I said before, I usually do it when I would have finished all of this before I put the white gel pen on, but because I'm trying to show you guys how I'm getting on with it, I thought I'd pop it on just to show you the effect I'm kind of aiming for. Yeah. It's getting there. Should we get a little bit of purple? Yeah, still pretty close to her face, so it's not called purple, is it? It's called orchid. I think there is a violet in In the big set there's a violet. I'm not sure why I didn't use that the first time. I don't think I thought of using purple the first time, to be honest with you. Because when I was colouring this, it was, oh, what's the dates on the other ones? 2020. So yeah, that's quite a way ago, like 3 years ago. So yeah, I don't think I thought of using purple. That's kind of surprising that was 3 years ago. It doesn't seem that long. Oh, poor ladies have been shut in the cupboard for 3 years. But never mind, they're going to be finished now. Maybe I might have to do it over the space of the week, but they are going to be finished. There we are. That's not looking too badly. As I've said, those are the colours. I just keep layering them and adding them until I'm happy with it. There's no set formula really to anything that I do, as per usual. I don't want to bore you guys too long with just colouring hair, so I'll probably do a couple more little bits and then stop the video, because as I've said, yeah, watching anyone colour this much hair isn't going to be that interesting. But yeah, just to show you guys, I am actually working on the WIPs and following suggestions. I do love it when you guys do give me suggestions and stuff and feedback. So yeah, thank you very much. Anyone that has, please keep doing it. I do listen to it all. I've made copious notes, and it might take a while to get onto your suggestions, but I do keep them in mind. I've got a load of notes, suggestions of things that people wanted to see. So even if I don't get back to it in a month or two, I promise that I will. And I try to fit them into the monthly theme, which doesn't always work. But yeah, I do listen to any suggestions. If any of you want to see any specific method, or how I've done anything in any of the pictures that I show in my finished pictures, or anything like that, then yeah, please drop me a comment and I'll take note of that. That's another reason the white outline is good. Going over the lines. Let's get back in with the blue. Sorry, as usual, I'm forgetting to mention each one as I pick it up. Hopefully there's enough difference to see between the ones. You'll be able to see which ones I'm using. So very, very limited. So the blue, orchid, black, and what's the dark blue called? Navy blue. Okay, my tablet cut out on me there, but hopefully I don't think the file is corrupted, so maybe that's my cue to be winding this up. Maybe I'll just again, I'll show a little bit of this white hair, how I've been doing that, just to kind of repeat what I said pretty much. First of all, I go in with the grey, just to add a bit of shadows. Add a little bit of blue. This is the sky blue. And these strands up here are probably looking slightly darker than these ones. These are bigger, that's the reason for that. There's a lot more white kind of left in the middle. So maybe I should try and leave more white in the middle here. White paper showing through. Okay, and then a little tiny bit of the golden yellow, very lightly. I'll try and keep just to the edges. Maybe that'll work. There we go. Let's try blending with the white. I did try earlier on blending with the Crayola white. I only actually have the white that came in the double-ended pencils at the moment because my other ones started snapping. There we go. And that's how I was doing the whitish hair. And using the black very, very sparingly. Just when there was real kind of deep shadows. Sorry, I do tend to speak very quietly and mutter to myself while I'm colouring. I'll try and speak up for the cameras. And I was adding little kind of sparkles. There we go. I'll probably be leaving that there because there's a heck of a lot of hair to colour in, and I don't want to subject you to a whole day of colouring in hair, but that is how I have been doing it. That's how I'm going to work on doing the whole page. So yeah, hopefully by the next time you see my finished pages for June, this one will be in it. And I will be probably not colouring any hair for quite a while because I'll be all haired out. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for your suggestions, and hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone. See you in future videos. Bye.